By now, I suspect that some of you will be bored of watching me take photographs on the edges of the lakes. But today, I'm not here to photograph Derwentwater, I'm here to photograph Brandlehow Wood. Now, I've chosen Brandlehow Woods as the location for this morning's shoot because the weather forecast is predicting that we're going to get some mist. Now, we don't have any mist at the moment, but according to the forecast, it's not due to arrive for another hour or so. Now, I don't normally put too much faith in the weather forecast, but the app that I use, Clear Outside, is reasonably accurate. So I'm hopeful, rather than necessarily being too expectant, if that makes sense. We do have some rather nice morning light on Skiddaw, but I'm not going to take a photo. You see, woodland photography really isn't my forte, and so I need to get my head in the right place just in case the weather forecast is right and we do get some mist. It might not be my forte, but woodland photography is something that I have been practicing quite recently, and I actually took one of my better woodland shots on this very spot back in November. But probably my favourite woodland photograph that I've taken so far was up at Ashness Wood on the other side of Derwentwater. Now, I really do need to concentrate on what I'm doing, so I'm going to head off now and explore a little bit deeper into the woods. Now, here's a scene that I photographed before in the mist. This is Otter Island on Abbott's Bay, but to be honest with you, I got this shot rather by chance. I wasn't expecting it to be misty. I hadn't looked that closely at the weather forecast, and if it had been misty, then probably what I would have tried to have done is get up high above the mist and shoot down onto it, and in the hope that we were going to get some form of temperature inversion and get mist lying in the bottom of the valleys. But because of my ongoing gallbladder problems, that just isn't an option for me at the moment, and that's why I've come here to try and get a shot of the woods in the mist. There is no sign of the fog that had been forecast, but Clear Outside is telling me that it should really start to develop over the next hour or so. So while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to take a quick photograph of these frozen, frosty oak leaves. There is still no sign of this mist, unfortunately, and the sun is now fully up. It's up above the hillside. And so I've had to content myself with looking for something else. And I've come across this scene here where the sun is backlighting these trees. Now, this shot is very similar to the one that I showed you earlier, but under these circumstances, I thought it was important to get the camera out and at least try and get a woodland shot, even if it is similar to something that I've done before. I'm making my way back to the car now, and the light is very, very harsh. But that doesn't mean there aren't opportunities for me to take photographs. Now, as I go along, I pass these beautiful Scots pine trees, and they have the most amazing texture to their bark. So I've just stopped to take a little close-up of that. This is a very intimate shot, just showing off the coarseness of the bark on these beautiful, huge trees. This is the end of the woodland and the end of my morning's photography. I might not have got the mist that I'd hoped for, but I did get 3 quite interesting shots and had a lot of fun in the process. And I do think that there's a moral to this story, and it's this. The weather forecast is often wrong, and we often find ourselves on location with conditions that we didn't expect. And when that happens, we have to show enough flexibility to adapt our approach.